A species with amnesia, the forgotten timeline of planet Earth after the Great Flood. Are humans really a species with amnesia? Is it true that there is a forgotten historic timeline of our planet? A timeline ignored by mainstream historians? According to several theories and historical records, the answer is yes. There is a lot of discussion going on whether or not there is scientific evidence to support theories which suggest a great deluge occurred on our planet in the distant past. Interestingly, numerous cultures around the globe speak of a time when our planet was struck by a great deluge, which the gods themselves called upon Earth and early man. But just where does the story of the Great Flood come from? Many people are completely unaware of the fact that the Great Flood or Great Deluge has its origins in ancient Sumer. To understand their accounts, we need to travel to Eridu, modern-day Abu Shah, Iraq, the first city created by the gods, and home to ancient Sumerian deity Enki. Researchers believe this ancient city was created around 5400 BC. The ancient Sumerian king list supports the theory that suggests Eridu was, in fact, the city of the first kings, stating, after the kingship had descended from heaven, the kingship was in Eridu. In this ancient city, we find the Eridu Genesis, an ancient Sumerian text, which describes the creation of the world, the invention of all ancient cities and the great flood that swept across the land. The Eridu Genesis, which is believed to have been composed circa 2300 BCE, is the earliest known account for the Great Flood, predating the more popular Great Flood described in the biblical book of the Genesis. This is where many researchers have different views. According to Thorkild Jacobson, in his book The Treasures of Darkness, after Nietzsche, in her saga, had decided to turn man from his primitive nomadic camping grounds towards city life, the period began when animals flourished on earth and kingship came down from heaven. The earliest cities were built, were named, had the measuring cups, emblems of a redistributional economic system, allotted to them, and were divided between the gods. Irrigation agriculture was developed, and man thrived and multiplied. However, the noise made by man and his teeming settlements began to vex Enlil sorely, and, driven beyond endurance, he persuaded the other gods to wipe out man in a great flood. Enki, thinking quickly, found a way to warn his favorite, one Sudra. He told him to build a boat in which to survive the flood with his family and representatives of the animals. But if the Great Flood did exist on Earth, what happened on Earth prior to the Great Destruction? According to the Cosmic Code, the 6th book of the Earth Chronicles by Zechariah Sitchin, this is the historical timeline of our planet before and after the Great Flood. Events before the deluge. 450,000 years ago, on Nibiru, a distant member of our solar system, life faces slow extinction as the planet's atmosphere erodes. Deposed by Anum, the ruler Alalu escapes in a spaceship and finds refuge on Earth. He discovers that Earth has gold that can be used to protect Nibiru's atmosphere. 445,000 led by Enki, a son of Anum, the Anunnaki land on Earth, establish Eridu Earth Station I for extracting gold from the waters of the Persian Gulf. More Anunnaki arrive on Earth, among them Enki's half-sister Ninhursag, chief medical officer. 416,000 as gold production falters, Anu arrives on Earth with Enlil, the heir apparent. It is decided to obtain the vital gold by mining it in southern Africa. Drawing lots, Enlil wins command of Earth mission. Enki is relegated to Africa. On departing Earth, Anu is challenged by Alalu's grandson. 400,0007 functional settlements in southern Mesopotamia include a spaceport, Sippar, Mission Control Center, Nippur, a metallurgical center, Sherapak. The ores arrive by ships from Africa. The refined metal is sent aloft to orbit as made by a Gigi, then transferred to spaceships arriving periodically from Nibiru. 380,000 gaining the support of the Igigi, Alalu's grandson attempts to seize mastery over Earth. The Enlilites win the War of the Olden Gods. 300,000 the Anunnaki toiling in the gold mines mutiny. Enki and Ninhursag create primitive workers through genetic manipulation of ape woman. They take over the manual chores of the Anunnaki. Enlil raids the mines, brings the primitive workers to the Eden in Mesopotamia. Given the ability to procreate, Homo sapiens begins to multiply. 200,000 life on Earth regresses during a new glacial period. The Anunnaki, the biblical Nephilim, to Enlil's growing annoyance, marry the daughters of man. 75,000 the accursation of Earth. A new ice age begins. Regressive types of man roam the Earth. 49,000 Enki and Ninhursag elevate humans of Anunnaki parentage to rule in Sherapak. 13,000 realizing that the passage of Nibiru in Earth's proximity will trigger an immense tidal wave, Enlil makes the Anunnaki swear to keep the impending calamity a secret from mankind. Events after the deluge. 11,000 B.C. Enki breaks the oath, instructs Yuzudra, Noah to build a submersible ship. The deluge sweeps over the Earth. The Anunnaki witness the destruction from their orbiting spacecraft. Enlil agrees to grant the remnants of mankind implements and seeds. Agriculture begins in the highlands. 10,500 B.C. The descendants of Noah are allotted 3 regions. Ninurta, Enlil's foremost son, dams the mountains and drains the rivers to make Mesopotamia habitable. Enki reclaims the Nile Valley. The Sinai Peninsula is retained by the Anunnaki for a post-diluvial spaceport. A control center is established on Mount Moriah, the future Jerusalem. Ra, Marduk, Enki's firstborn son, divides dominion over Egypt between Osiris and Seth. Seth seizes and dismembers Osiris, assumes sole rule over the Nile Valley. 8,970 B.C. Horus avenges his father Osiris by launching the First Pyramid War. Seth escapes to Asia, seizes the Sinai Peninsula and Canaan. 8,670 B.C. Opposed to the resulting control of all the space facilities by Enki's descendants, the Enlilites launch the Second Pyramid War. The victorious Ninurta empties the Great Pyramid of its equipment. Ninhursag, the half-sister of Enki and Enlil, convenes a peace conference. The division of Earth is reaffirmed. Rule over Egypt transferred from the Ra, Marduk dynasty to that of Thoth. Heliopolis built as a substitute beacon city. The Anunnaki establish outposts at the gateway to the space facilities. Jericho is one of them. 7,400 B.C. As the era of peace continues, the Anunnaki grant mankind new advances. The Neolithic period begins. Demigods rule over Egypt. Urban civilization begins in Sumer as the Anunnaki re-establish there the olden cities, beginning with Eridu and Nippur. Anu comes to Earth for a pageantful visit. A new city, Uruk, is built in his honor. He makes its temple the abode of his beloved granddaughter Inanna, Lshtar.